The arrival of the vast darkness of space was silent, except for the soft hum of distant stars. At the edge of the Galactic Empire's territory, the massive warships floated like shadows against the black void. These ships had ruled the galaxy for centuries, and their commanders believed nothing could challenge their power. Commander Varric stood on the bridge of the flagship Dominion. His eyes scanned the holographic map, showing the movements of their fleet. Suddenly, a new signal blinked. On the radar, a fleet approaching fast from outside the known star systems. "Commander," the radar officer said, voice steady but alert. "Unknown ships detected. Large fleet size. Moving toward our borders." Varric narrowed his eyes. "Show me." The hologram shifted, revealing a group of sleek, fast-moving ships. They were not like the Empire's bulky vessels. Their shapes were unfamiliar but elegant, built for speed and precision. Varric laughed, a deep and harsh sound that echoed through the bridge. "Humans, those primitive warships? They think they can challenge the Galactic Empire? This is a joke?" Around him, other officers smiled and exchanged confident glances. The Empire's strength was unmatched. Their weapons, their numbers, their experience, they had crushed every enemy who dared stand against them. "This fleet will be crushed before they even get close," Varric said, pride filling his voice. "Prepare the fleet. We will welcome our guests with fire." Far away, on the command bridge of the largest human warship, the resolute Captain Morgan stood silently. Unlike the Empire's commanders, Morgan showed no fear or anger. His eyes were calm, steady, and full of quiet confidence. Behind him, his crew worked swiftly, checking systems and weapons. The human fleet had trained for this moment for years. They knew the Empire's power, but they also knew their own strengths. "Captain," said Lieutenant Sarah, the communications officer, "the Empire's fleet is reacting. They are preparing for battle." Morgan nodded. "Let them prepare. We do not fear them." His voice was calm, but inside, a fire burned. The humans had grown stronger in the shadows of the galaxy, building ships and weapons that even the Empire did not understand. As the fleets moved closer, tension filled the void between the stars. The Empire's warships formed a massive wall of metal and firepower. The humans approached in tight formation, steady and unyielding. Varric sent a message to the human fleet. His voice was cold and mocking. "Humans, this is Commander Varric of the Galactic Empire. Turn back now. You face an army that will crush your small fleet. Leave before you bring your destruction." There was silence. Then, Captain Morgan's reply came through clear and calm. "We come not to run, but to change the galaxy. Prepare yourselves." The Empire's officers laughed. They could not believe these humans dared speak with such pride. They believed the humans were weak and unprepared. But deep in the Resolutes engine room, a secret waited. Advanced weapons, silent but deadly, were ready to be unleashed. Humans had studied the Empire's tactics for decades. They had planned for this battle carefully. Varric looked at his officers. "Open fire as soon as they enter range. Show no mercy." The Empire's ships powered their weapons, beams of light gathering at their fronts, ready to destroy the human ships. In seconds, but Captain Morgan raised his hand. "Hold fire," he ordered calmly. The humans moved steadily closer, their weapons hidden but ready. The Empire laughed once more, thinking they had won before the battle even began. Suddenly, the human ships released a pulse of energy. It was silent, invisible, but deadly. The pulse disabled the Empire's shields and communication systems. Chaos erupted on the Dominion. Alarms blared, and officers scrambled to fix the damage. Varric's confident smile disappeared. "What is happening? How did they do this?" Captain Morgan watched from his bridge as the Empire's fleet faltered. "This is only the beginning. he said quietly. The silence of space was broken by the sounds of battle, beams of light crossing the darkness, explosions shaking the ships. The Galactic Empire had laughed at the humans, but now their laughter was turning to fear. The war had begun. The first strike, the battle erupted suddenly, like a storm breaking over a calm sea. Human warships moved with swift grace through the dark space, their weapons silent but deadly. Commander Varek stared at the chaos on his screens. The Galactic Empire's mighty fleet, once proud and unshakable, now struggled to respond. Their shields flickered, systems glitched, and confusion spread. "Enemy ships are striking with precision," shouted the weapons officer. "Our defenses are failing." Varek clenched his fists. "How? Their fleet is smaller. Their ships are not as strong." "Captain," said Lieutenant Sarah from the human command bridge, "our new pulse weapons are disabling their systems. They can't fight back properly." Captain Morgan nodded. "This is what years of planning can do. We knew the Empire's weaknesses, and we are ready." The human ships began firing their weapons, bright, focused beams that cut through the Empire's shields and hulls. Explosions blossomed like fiery stars in the cold blackness. On the Empire's flagship, alarms rang loudly. Crew members rushed to repair the damage, but the humans were relentless. Varek growled, "Focus all fire on the flagship Resolute. Destroy it at once." The Empire's fleet concentrated their energy, launching a barrage of missiles and lasers. But the Resolute danced through the attack, its agile design allowing it to dodge and weave. On the human bridge, Captain Morgan remained calm. "Hold formation. Use the disruption pulses again." Human ships sent out another wave of the silent pulses. This time, entire enemy groups went dark, their weapons useless. One by one, Empire warships started falling. Huge explosions ripped through the fleet. Panic spread among the commanders. Commander Varek to all ships, "Fall back." "Regroup," he ordered desperately, but retreat was chaos. Many ships lost control. The humans pressed their advantage, striking. Again and again. "Sir," reported the communications officer, "the Empire's fleet is breaking apart. Their reinforcements are delayed." Morgan looked at the screen, watching the Empire's retreat. "This battle was never about numbers," he said. "It's about heart and strategy." In the dark control room of the Dominion, Varek slammed his fist on the console. "We have underestimated them. This cannot continue." Far across the battle, a young human pilot smiled behind her helmet. "We're just getting started." The first strike had shattered the Empire's confidence. The humans showed that even a smaller force could defeat a giant if it fought smart. The war had truly begun, and the Empire's laughter was now lost in the sounds of their own defeat. Asterisk. The Empire's counterattack. After the shock of the first strike, the Galactic Empire's commanders gathered in the war room aboard the Dominion. The massive chamber was filled with tense faces and harsh whispers. Commander Varek slammed his fist on the table. "We were caught off guard. This human fleet has tricks we did not expect, but we are not defeated yet." The Empire's generals nodded, though fear lingered in their eyes. "Our forces are scattered, but reinforcements are on the way. We must strike back hard and fast." Varek looked at the star map. "Send all remaining ships to regroup at Sector 9. Prepare the new weapons if these humans want to fight. We will give them one they cannot win." Far from the battlefield, fresh warships roared through space, moving quickly to support the damaged fleet. These new ships were bigger and more heavily armed. Captain Morgan watched the approaching reinforcements. "They are sending more ships," he said calmly. "We must be ready." Lieutenant Sarah studied the enemy fleet. "They have new weapons this time, sir." "Bigger lasers and faster ships," Morgan nodded. We will use our speed and tactics. Let them bring their firepower. We have something they do not." As the two fleets neared each other, the Empire launched its counterattack. Bright red beams blasted across space, striking human ships with fierce power. Several human vessels were hit and rocked by explosions. The humans scrambled to repair their ships, but kept their formation steady. Captain Morgan gave the order: deploy the drones. Target their command ships. Small, fast drones launched from human ships, weaving through enemy fire. They attacked the Empire's command vessels, causing confusion and damaging their controls. On the Dominion, Varek's voice was cold but firm: destroy those drones. Protect the command ship at all costs. The battle became intense, beams of light crossing in all directions, explosions lighting up the darkness, like stars being born and dying. Despite the Empire's strength, the humans moved with precision. Their fighters dodged attacks, their warships coordinated perfectly. A young human pilot shouted over the comms: target locked on the Empire's flagship. Captain Morgan smiled: fire. The human ships fired a concentrated blast at the Empire's command ship. The impact rocked the Dominion, forcing its shields to flicker. Varek struggled to maintain control. Divert power to shields. Hold the line. The Empire's forces fought bravely, but the humans' tactics were too smart. Slowly, the tide shifted again. Morgan's voice came over the comms, steady and sure: we may be outnumbered, but we are never outmatched. The Empire's counterattack had slowed the humans, but it could not break their spirit. The battle was far from over, and both sides knew the next moves would decide the fate of many stars. Asterisk, the hidden weapon, the battle raged on, with both sides locked in fierce combat. But deep inside the human fleet, a secret weapon waited, one the Galactic Empire had never seen before. Captain Morgan stood on the bridge of the Resolute, his eyes steady and calm. He knew this moment was coming. The humans had prepared for years, developing technology that could change everything. Activate the stealth drones, Morgan ordered quietly. Small ships, almost invisible against the blackness of space, slipped silently from the Resolute. They moved like ghosts toward the Empire's fleet, undetected by enemy sensors. Commander Varek stared at his screens, unaware of the threat moving closer. His attention was on the ongoing battle, struggling to keep control. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Empire's flagship was hit by a surprise attack, a burst of energy from the stealth drones. Varek's face tightened. What is this? How did they get so close? The stealth drones released a powerful pulse that disabled the Empire's weapon systems again, but this time on a larger scale. Entire sections of the fleet went dark. Chaos spread through the Empire's ranks. Without weapons, their ships were sitting targets. Captain Morgan's voice echoed through the human fleet. Now is the time. Attack with everything you have. Human ships fired with precision, hitting the disabled ships one by one. Explosions tore through the Empire's fleet. Varek shouted orders, trying to regain control. Send fighters to destroy the drones. Protect the fleet. But the drones were fast, elusive, and deadly. They struck again and again, crippling the Empire's warships. In the midst of the chaos, a young Empire pilot whispered, "We never saw this coming." Captain Morgan watched the destruction from his bridge, calm but focused. This weapon was built to break their arrogance. The Empire believed they were invincible. Today, we proved them wrong. The Empire's fleet was in retreat, damaged and broken. The hidden weapon had turned the tide completely. As the Empire fled, Varek's voice was filled with fury and fear. This is not over. We will find their weakness. But the humans had shown the galaxy a new truth. Power was not just in size or numbers, but in intelligence, courage, An innovation. Asterisk. The Empire's collapse. The Galactic Empire's great fleet was no longer the unstoppable force it once was. Ships drifted aimlessly through space, their weapons silent, engines failing. The mighty commanders were left with only one choice: to retreat. Commander Varric stared at the broken image of his fleet on the holographic map. The once proud warships were now scattered wrecks. His face was pale, his usual confidence shattered. "We cannot hold the line," Varric admitted, voice heavy with defeat. "The humans have destroyed our strength." His officers looked away, ashamed. The Empire's power had ruled for centuries, but now it was crumbling. Meanwhile, Captain Morgan's fleet pressed forward, not giving the enemy a moment to recover. Human ships moved like shadows between the damaged Empire vessels, delivering precise strikes to finish what had begun. "Target their retreat points," Morgan commanded. "Cut off their escape." Explosions lit the darkness as the Empire's ships were forced to abandon formation. Some tried to flee through nearby star systems, but the humans were relentless. On one crippled Empire cruiser, crew members worked desperately to restart engines, but it was too late. A human warship closed in. The cruiser's captain sighed, "We are done." The human ship fired a single clean shot. The cruiser's engines failed, and it drifted silently into the void. Back on the Resolute, Morgan watched the Empire's collapse with quiet satisfaction. "This victory is not just for us," he said. "It is for every star that suffered under their rule." But the battle was not just about warships and weapons. The collapse of the Empire meant a new order was rising, one where courage and heart mattered more than fear and power. As the Empire retreated deeper into their territory, Varric made one final command: "Send the message to the Council. Prepare for negotiations. But do not show weakness." The humans had won the battle, but the war for the galaxy was only beginning. Asterisk. The final stand, the Galactic Empire's forces regrouped their last stronghold, a massive space station orbiting a dying star. It was their final shield, the place where they would make their last stand. Commander Varric stood before his remaining troops, his voice steady but firm. "This is our last chance. We will not let the humans take our home. Fight with all your strength for the Empire." The soldiers, though tired and beaten, nodded. Their loyalty was strong. Many had never seen defeat. Meanwhile, Captain Morgan's fleet approached the station, calm and focused. The humans knew this battle would be different. No surprise pulses, no hidden weapons. This was a test of will and courage. Morgan gathered his leaders. "This fight is not just about ships. It is about who has the heart to win. Show them we do." The humans moved into attack formation. The station's defenses opened fire lasers, and missiles streaked across space. The battle was fierce. Explosions rocked the station and ships alike. Human fighters weaved through enemy fire, striking where the station was weakest. On the station's bridge, Varric watched the battle unfold. Hold the line. Protect the core systems. Suddenly, a young human pilot broke through the defenses and sent a message over the comms. "This is Lieutenant Jax. Your time is over. Commander Varric, surrender now or face destruction." Varric looked at the calm face of the pilot on the young screen. He saw no fear, only determination. Varric took a deep breath. "We will never surrender to humans." But before he could finish, the station shuddered as a powerful blast hit the core. Lights flickered, and alarms screamed. Captain Morgan's voice came again, steady and strong. "The Empire can still choose peace, or fall with pride." Varric realized the battle was lost. The Empire's final stand was crumbling. But even in defeat, the soldiers fought with honor, defending their home until the very end. Asterisk, victory and aftermath. Final blast shook the Galactic Empire's last stronghold. Slowly, the great space station began to fall silent. The human fleet held their positions. Watching carefully, Commander Varek stood among the ruins of his command center, his pride shattered but his spirit unbroken. He looked out at the stars, now no longer ruled by the Empire's fear. Captain Morgan stood on the bridge of the Resolute, gazing at the horizon of stars ahead. This victory is more than a battle won. It is a new beginning. The humans sent a message across the galaxy, clear and strong. We fight not to destroy, but to protect. The galaxy has changed. Humanity will stand as its guardian. Across distant worlds, creatures, and civilizations listened. Some feared the humans, others hoped for peace. Morgan turned to his crew. We have shown that courage and heart are the true strength. But the fight for justice continues. In the ruins of the Empire's power, leaders debated their next move. Some wanted revenge. Others saw a future with humans as allies. For now, the galaxy was silent, but watching. A new order was rising, one led by those who dared to laugh in the face of danger and stand for what was right. And humanity's legend was only beginning. Asterisk.